I'm here again today with Craig at Modern Rentals, and we're going to talk about what Modern Rentals is. Here we go.
I had an opportunity to buy Modern Rentals just over 8 years ago from my predecessor, but he started the business 24 years ago.
Yep.
Small little shop, rental equipment.
Not small anymore.
No, this is actually second location to the business, but it started out with rentals. So prominently your chainsaws, mini excavators, skid steers, your earth moving equipment, stuff like that. Log splitters, sweepers, couple lawnmowers. I don't know when the transition was actually made, but we slowly started going more retail.
And now you guys have, obviously you got all the mowers here, and then inside, let's show what's up front here. Ooh, you got a nice zero turn here.
We try to promote our bigger sales right up front. People walk by them, foot traffic wise. But we carry the full lineup of Husqvarna. That's our largest dealer,
so
our
you've
vendor,
got
I should say.
Husqvarna, Toro, Echo,
DR power
DR.
equipment, Oregon.
I said Toro, right?
Yep, Toro. We carry their zero turns as well as their push mowers. Push mowers are huge for Toro. They got their stuff figured out. Almost a two-pole start every time.
I've had I think 4 different Toros over my lifetime. And when
honestly,
they were at last 10, 12 years, and the parts start wearing out, sell it, get a new one.
Absolutely. I mean, the wheels will wear out eventually.
That's exactly what happened.
The engines, very rarely do we ever see a Toro engine fail.
Yeah, they're very good.
Their auto choke system is pretty outstanding.
I've got two of their what is it, 826 blowers with the quick.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What's that called? The quick stick? Sure. Well, and the blower is the one I'm talking about. The blower that's got that quick stick.
Yes.
It's an 826, whatever that is. It's a quick stick. I don't know
Uniball or whatever. Yeah. I'm not really sure what they call it.
Awesome.
Awesome. One-hand operation for
I've used a lot of different snow blowers. That's the best. Whatever they did and patented it, good for them.
That and a weight. The Toros on the snowblower especially is a little bit user-friendly compared to, not discredit Husqvarna. Husqvarna's going to scrape a little bit better. They got a little heavier front designed, so a little more power or weight to the ground. Toro's just ergonomics. They have figured out. It's very user-friendly.
So let's look at some of the stuff you've got here. I see, look at that. You got a brand new mower going out there. It must be that time of year.
Absolutely.
So let's. Oh, you got riders over here. Right?
Husqvarna riders, yep. And then we also carry DR
trimmers,
DR power. So you got high wheel trimmers on DR. They're leap vac systems. They're walk behind towable brush cutters. What else we got?
We got Oregon splitters.
Yep.
Is this the only splitter brand you guys have?
Currently it is.
Are you thinking of doing anything else, or?
I am. Actually, one of your guys.
I know you talked Easton Made possibly.
I think they have a wonderful product. But on the splitting side, it's kind of a slower sale for us, just where we are, and it's very seasonal.
Right.
Splitters move in the spring and the fall, but all summer they're pretty stagnant, and then kind of winter as well. But like I said, the full lineup of Husqvarna.
But you rent splitters too, right?
Yep. And
do you rent
we rent the exact same machine.
Yep.
Yeah. If you want to rent one, try it out, and you like it, I'll waive the rental. And if you buy a new machine,
so do you have guys that will come and try them out, and then they say, "I want one"?
All the time.
That's awesome.
I'll waive the rental fees on that because you're just trying it out. If you buy the new splitter,
nice.
I can do the same thing on zero turns too. If you're just testing something out, you don't know a difference or what you would like between 54-inch, 60-inch deck, or even engine size. I'll more than happy let you test one out or rent one. If you don't like it per se, well then you just have the rental fee. But if you want it, I'll waive all that, and then you just get a new mower.
Cool. Let's go look inside at all the toys you have in there. Obviously, we've done other videos here before, but I've never really talked to you about it and asked about the different brands. I've kind of just walked around and waved the camera in front of them. But
sure. It's a big toy store, that's for sure. Yeah.
So here you've got
these are Husqvarna pressure washers.
That's something I need.
So we can help you out today with that, Chris, if you'd
I
like.
bet you could.
Pretty much a full lineup of the Toro between battery and then gas, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, self-propelled, personal pace. This is Husqvarna's new zero turn that they came out with last year. Suspension. It's going to be similar to the My Ride, like the Toro.
Yep.
Instead of the rocking motion, you have the up and down.
Right.
Just more ergonomics.
Nice. What has it got for an engine? It's 26
This one's going to have a Kohler on it.
Kohler? Oh, okay.
You can get the Briggs, Kohler, or Kawasaki engines.
Nice. And then obviously your Toro, your push mowers or your walk behinds, those are very, very popular. Right?
Oh yeah. It's still, I mean, obviously we sell them, but I truly believe they're one of the best push mowers on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had several.
They have them. Anything that you'd like, from electric start, personal pace. Some of them easy fold, so they take up less storage space in your shed.
Right.
So Toro, Echo, DR, obviously Husqvarna.
Yep, all your Echo stuff's over here. And
Yep.
Echo is a company that's more focused on consumer stuff. Is that correct? Pretty much.
Echo itself, its parent company also owns Sandala, which I do believe is more of a commercial line.
Okay.
We don't carry Sandala, but we can get parts for them and repair them if needed.
I have this one right here, and that's great.
Yeah.
That's my second Echo. The first one I had for, I don't know, 12 years or so. And then my son bought a house, and he says, "Hey, can I borrow it?" I never got it back.
Never saw it again.
So
Fair enough.
I bought another one.
I say that. Not discrediting your trimmer, it's about middle of the road.
Right.
The 2620, I believe, is one of their biggest ones.
Yep. I don't have a big yard, don't need a...
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, that's nice.
Otherwise, you start getting a bicycle handle and then
Yep.
big power, and then you can start running blades and brush cutter heads on them, or even paddle wheels.
And then your Echo chainsaws here.
Yep.
What do you sell a lot of when it comes to the Echo equipment?
Probably first seller for our climbers and bucket guys, the 2511. That is, to my belief yet, still the smallest gas engine chainsaw on the market.
What does that thing weigh? What does it say in the specs there? Because it's light. I know it's real light.
Weight is 5.2 pounds.
It's like, it literally
It's the size of a clothes iron.
It is tiny.
But truly impressive, especially if you're a climber. And then what my first concern was when they came out with it, probably 5-6 years ago, I believe, is its runtime. A small gas tank. To be honest, that thing will run forever. It is impressive.
It's a sipper, yeah.
Exactly. And then their 3410 comes with 16-inch bar. Price point wise, that's probably our biggest seller. And then our next one, probably it would be the 590, or what was the 74? Which one did your friend just pick up?
We've got a 7310, the big
7310.
Yeah. Very nice saw. Very similar to a 572.
I would agree. Price point's a little bit cheaper.
Very high quality though. I mean, it's
I would
built
agree.
really well. Nice.
Yep.
And it's a good looking saw, which some people, that's what they base stuff on. And
No,
it looks good.
You go with the kind of the blackout model or whatever, like your pickup. I do like that they have the see-through tanks. So you can check fuel or bar oil.
I like the that this is, you can use this for
to open your fuel and oil cap. Exactly right.
That works kind of neat. And at first, when I first saw this little toggle switch, the on and off here, I thought, well, that's kind of old school, but you know what?
Stupid
it
simple.
Works great.
You know what?
And your choke in and out,
most people are
easy.
accustomed to. Not to discredit Husqvarna, I think they have to follow some certain emissions. But their starting procedure is a little bit more complex than the Echo. The Echo, it's on off or choke.
Right, you pull it up and choke it and then de-choke it where, you get used to whatever. But yeah, Echo makes very nice stuff.
I would agree.
I've never had a problem with, I've had 3 different Echo products and they work great. And people that I've talked to, they love them too. So. And
then they actually started making power cutters here a couple years back. They set themselves apart actually from any other power cutter on the market that I'm aware of. You can actually take the head off and put it on the other side. Oh, interesting. I mean, it takes some tools and a little bit of time to do. but when you're cutting, you're always this distance here,
Right.
or this distance here.
So now you can bring it out here.
So
Nice.
now you can cut tight up to something, or flat on the ground.
And no one else has that.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
That's interesting. Very cool.
So you can get that in the 14 or 16 inch.
Yep.
And then we
they've
also
got all
sell
the Echo trimmers
their
and blowers.
Echo blowers and obviously the Husqvarna blowers. Blowers, the 9010, to my knowledge, is still the biggest CFM backpack blower on the market.
Really?
Correct.
So it's an 80cc basically.
Yep. But you got to talk about CFM when we're talking.
What does that stand for people that don't know?
Cubic feet?
Feet.
Per minute?
It's volume of air blown.
Correct. There's amount of work, and actually now they've created a different scale or measurement in newtons.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to compare apples to apples, you're either going to look at CFM or newtons. That's actually amount of work being done.
Got it.
We can increase miles per hour if that's what your scale you're going to go on, but we just would neck down the end, and you have more, less volume but more miles per hour.
I don't have a friend that's got one of those, but I know a guy who's got Husqvarna, the biggest one,
the 580,
and another guy who's got the still biggest one, and both of them say the same thing. Hang on, because it's like a jetpack.
Oh yeah. I mean, if that's what your job is, I mean, they'll blow 2-inch diameter sticks around the yard if you want them to. The 580 is going to be the biggest Husqvarna model for a backpack blower. That's a Mark II. Word on the street is that there's a Mark III coming.
No kidding.
And that is supposed to be bigger than the 9010 Echo.
Of course, you got to go bigger.
You got to keep up with the Joneses, you know. That, I haven't seen it yet, but that is word on the street. And then anywhere from your handheld, your vacs, your blowers, Echo and Husqvarna are going to be very similar as far as what they offer. One difference I will tell you on the handheld blowers from Echo to Husqvarna, their air intake is opposite. So if you're right hand, your air intake, because if you're mostly going to use it with your right hand, the Husqvarna is the one you want to go because your air is coming in, clean air is coming in from this side. So if you're running left hand, you're going to impede some of your airflow going in. Echo is exactly the opposite.
You'll feel it on your leg.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Echo is designed to go the other way. So it's going to be a little bit more left-handed operations. But just a unique selling feature that some people wouldn't be aware of.
And then you got your battery-operated stuff here. Battery-operated stuff here, Husqvarna.
All the Husqvarna is going to have the same battery platform. They've had the same platform since they came out, which is kind of nice. And then they have their Pro Series and then their Consumer.
And then here's your cutters.
Husqvarna power cutters. We don't have a cut and break on hand here. We do rent out cut and breaks though. A cut and break is designed to go deeper into a wall. So I think you go up to 17, 18 inches deep with a cut and break Husqvarna concrete saw.
Nice.
And
then around over
full lineup of trimmers.
Yep.
You got your battery, and then bicycle handle brush cutters, which you can go string head as well. But it's not designed for your normal home lawn or whatever. And then all the way down to your consumer model.
Right. What do you sell? What do you sell the most of? Is it middle of the line, top of the line, bottom of the line? 525.
I think it's the LS. This model here is probably our biggest seller. They just run forever. That's
here
what
it is. This one. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a 35, which is just a little bigger.
Oh, I'm sorry. I pointed at the wrong
That's
one
okay.
there.
I couldn't see the number up there.
This
either.
one here. This is what my crew uses on the field as well.
Oh, okay.
And then all the way down to your curved shaft handle.
Yep. I had my first Echo I ever had probably 20-some years ago was a curved shaft, and it burned up on me.
Did it?
And,
okay.
Yeah, and when I bought it from a place in Appleton, and when I took it in, they said, yeah, it's pretty much toast. And I said, okay, because I'd used it for a long time.
I was going to say.
And they said, hey, we recommend a straight shaft. Because they just,
I would agree.
That's what they said.
Biggest thing, we got a second, the easiest way to explain the difference or why you would want one or the other. So these are very similar trimmers as far as engine-wise, but reach. You want to go underneath fences,
Right.
trees, or whatever, you have a little bit more reach when you go power head to power head. So it kind of keeps you out of the brush.
Right.
But
Well,
this
the thing
this
that I was
generally
told
works.
is that you got a bend in this, so you're using that, the bend is being heated up because it's an
Correct.
area that
Exactly. So each of these models are going to have a flex shaft that run from the power head down to the trimmer gearbox. This one's going to be a flex shaft as well. But yeah, you're constant bend there, so it's going to wear out faster.
Right.
More points of contact.
that's how it was sold to me too.
Fair enough. When you get into the bigger brush cutters, them are going to be a rigid shaft that runs through the middle because they can take more impact when they hit material and brush and stuff like that.
Right. And then of course over here you've got
Different attachments that you can get on the LK models for the Husqvarna. Your cultivator, brush cutter, hedge trimmer, which does have a pivoting head on there, pole saw attachments, and then your sidewalk edger. They also, I think we're out of them at the moment, they also have a paddle wheel that you can put on the end of them.
That's for clearing snow and
you can use it for snow. Most people use them for clearing gravel from when they plowed snow, clearing it back out of the turf.
Right, so that's the brush right there.
That's a brush. Paddle wheel, I don't think we have a picture of.
Underneath here,
But we got one over by the door there, front door.
Yeah, okay. And then of course we talked the other day on the video about all the chainsaws, so you guys are aware of all the Husqvarna stuff there.
Yep.
And then what's over on the side over here? You got one snowblower left. Did you guys have a?
We cycled a bunch since the season's changed, and I'm thinking we're not going to have any more snow this season.
Yeah.
We still want to promote that we do sell them, but them all got put in storage.
Yeah, this is the quick stick. It is called a quick stick.
That's it. Yep.
This thing.
And this model here is actually electric or battery powered.
But this quick stick is so much better than anything else.
The ergonomics, one hand operation.
Oh, it's nice. And of course, you guys sell clothing. Gotta have the merch.
Oh yeah. Something we just started dabbling in this spring. Trying to find another niche. What sets us aside from some other places? We're offering birdseed, cob corn, pretty much anything for feeding your critters out in your yard.
And then you were telling me you guys, of course, you do all your rentals, and that's a whole nother division. We're not going to talk about that, but you guys do the rentals. The other thing I want to mention is that parts and supplies and pieces. Let's just kind of look at that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's a big part of what you guys do is doing repairs. And if someone wants to fix their own stuff, you've got it here.
Absolutely. So we have the ability to look up pretty much any make model of a machine. And so if you need new air filter, blades, etc., it doesn't actually have to be a machine that we sell. But no, if you want to do all your own service, we can provide air filters, spark plugs.
I'm not that guy. I want Scott. I want Scott. He knows what he's doing. I want him to fix my stuff.
Absolutely.
I can do the basics. I mean, if I got to change a plug, I can do that. I can clean an air filter out.
Yep.
But if it's got problems, I want to be cutting. That's why I got multiple saws. I want to grab the next saw and go to work.
No, you're not making any money when you're not cutting.
No. If you're playing with equipment, you're not.
Obviously, our bigger parts room is in the back.
Yep. And you got different fluids here. And
I would like to talk briefly on the gas oil mix. Shelf life in a can up to 7 years. So this is already pre-measured 50 to 1. It has stabilizer in it, obviously, to get that shelf life. Not saying you have to run it all season in your trimmer, your blower, anything two-stroke. But before you put some of your seasonal equipment away, run some of that canned fuel in it. We prefer that you don't run them dry because there's rubber and
so you actually
plastic
want to leave
components.
some in there.
You want to leave the fuel in the system. So otherwise it can dry out rubber components and stuff like that in the carburetor. So this has like I said, shelf life in the machine, I think up to 3 years. It's going to make that restart come next season a lot easier.
Well, and for a consumer that's not using the equipment all day, every day, this is what they should use.
Just pour it in. That's all you need to do. No measuring, no mixing or anything like that. It's just straight in and ready to go.
Right. Well, that's a good deal on your bar oil. That's real good.
Absolutely. I'd say we try to promote as much as we can.
Because even your off-brand cheap stuff, it's $10-12 a gallon now.
It's right in there. Bar oil is, no offense, and not speaking ill on any manufacturer of them. Bar oil is bar oil, in my opinion. You can get thinner stuff for winter use if you're starting really cold ambient temperatures, but they're all season pretty much. It covers everything.
Yeah, my brother used to cut so much in the winter, he'd buy a 50-gallon barrel every year.
He'd
buy one of each.
Sure.
And that's what he
We
would
have
do.
customers that do that as well. They'll buy it in 5 gallons, 55-gallon barrels.
Yep, right.
It really depends on how quickly you're going to go through it, or
Well, it doesn't go
justify
bad.
it.
So.
Oh God, no. I mean, we have customers that come in and they use waste oil. I don't necessarily recommend that. It doesn't have a tack to it that
well, and
actually
you're
sticks
going to have
to the
some
chain.
metal in there, and
I don't advise it, but we see it. I mean, it does
Right.
come in. It does act
Right.
as a lubricant, but probably not a great
then you
one.
got all your mixes here.
Yep. 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 2.5 gallon, 5 gallon mixes.
And obviously you've got all your bars and chains and everything that people could possibly want or need, right?
Pretty much, yes. If we don't have it in a loop already, we can make it. Usually it takes us a couple minutes, but we can certainly make up any loops that, even for older saws, that they don't make a loop for yet.
Right.
So we have reels in the back that we
You've
can
got
make it
all the
custom
gauges,
length.
you got everything.
Exactly.
And then around the corner back over here, you've got accessories like, I saw you had gloves and all that kind of stuff too.
We got some pressure washer options, and then very limited on gloves. I don't know. I try to offer a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, a whole lineup of belts, so drive belts, deck belts, anything you can think of there. And then chaps, safety apparel,
Yep, all your PPE
helmets,
stuff,
chaps. You can get some replacement engines from us, or we can order Briggs
Yeah, I
engines.
just bought a pair
pullers,
of these
collies.
last time I was here. Because
Probably one of the best investments you ever made, Chris.
Yeah, well, like I say, I've gone through several pairs. I've hit my legs. I know they work. And my old pair that I had was just regular chaps. And I noticed when I was cutting that sometimes my legs exposed.
Yeah.
And
so you went with the full wrap.
I went with a full wrap. And also my old chaps, they were starting to get a little greasy from wiping my hands on there.
Sure, absolutely.
And I just did a video on this. A friend of mine had a really old pair. His buddy was running for like 10 years, and he was a professional logger.
Sure.
And his boss made him get a new pair. And they said, hey, just for fun, let's see what happens. So they put the chaps on a log, and it didn't stop because they were that degraded.
Oh, geez, I guess I've never seen that. I was actually thinking more for fire, but
it stopped, but it went into the log just enough to know that your leg would not have been safe.
Right. I did not know there was a life expectancy to it.
Well, they were raggedy and oily.
Sure.
And
we used them for years, and that's
years.
every day, right?
So yeah,
just like anything else, it'll wear out eventually.
Everything wears out, especially body parts, is what I like to say.
Unfortunately, we feel that every day.
Yeah. So there you go. You guys got a real good idea of the stuff they have here for equipment. You guys obviously do rentals and things, but kind of wanted to go over all the toys that you guys have here. A lot to offer. You guys do shipping, or if you guys are interested in buying anything, you can get it. Come and get it here. You got
absolutely.
And you're one of the biggest dealers in the state, if not the biggest.
I don't know our standing currently or whatever. I guess I have to wait till the end of the year and see what we did for sales wise. But we're certainly top 2. And then sets us apart from box stores. We fully prep everything. I mean, unless you don't want it. I mean, you gotta give us a little time. If you want it that day, you can give us a half hour so we can put the mower together. If not, at least level the deck, put the seats, fully assemble them, test them, make sure they're working as they should.
And most importantly, if you got a problem, you bring it back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've got guys that know what they're doing.
Oh,
back
absolutely.
There.
Yeah. And that's
full service shop.
Probably exactly. That's probably half of the business is on
really?
the service side.
No kidding.
If I had to say, probably 30% of our service side is fuel related. Actually, wrong fuel, stale fuel. I mean, I think a lot of these are seasonal
seals
PC
and
equipment.
rings and stuff like that go back.
Yeah, exactly.
So what would you say is the number one problem people have that brings something in? Is it because they did something wrong themselves? It's a part that wore out, or is it
poor maintenance? Yeah, it's something I'm guilty of as well. To go mow lawn, I mean, probably every other time I'll check the stick, make sure there's oil in it. But poor
do you ever have
maintenance.
somebody come in that just has no oil, or the oil's like glue?
Unfortunately, yes. Air cleaners that you can't even
it looks like
identify what it is.
Looks like a bird's nest.
Exactly. I would say probably our biggest thing is maintenance, our lack of. Which is unfortunate, but it's
that's
something people don't think about. You just grab it and go, or jump on the mower and go, or grab your trimmer and just take off.
And is it more of a consumer, more of the pros, or is it both?
No, the pros very rarely have that problem. I mean, they'll wear things out just because they're moving
use it so
parts,
much,
and
right,
exactly. But that's how they make their living. So as far as somebody that it happens more often to, would be a homeowner side, because they don't do it for a living. They don't count on that piece of equipment to pay the bills at the end of the day. I will tell you one thing that I don't want to toot my own horn, but I kind of
Toot away.
Automowers, robotic lawnmowers. They have been out since, well, Husqvarna, I believe, is the first manufacturers of an Automower, I think in early 90s. There's not a lot of awareness on them. They've been out since the early 90s. I believe Husqvarna was the first manufacturers of a robotic lawnmower. I've been told, I don't know how accurate it is, but Roomba actually had to ask Husqvarna to make their vacuum cleaners because they had some certain patents towards it.
So Husqvarna makes the Roombas?
No, Husqvarna owned patent rights on the lawnmower.
So they're making money off the patents.
I believe so, yes.
Let's go over by the one you got. I saw you had one back
Yeah, we got one over by the front here. I have two at my house. Despite being one of the largest lawnmower dealers in Wisconsin, I really don't like mowing lawn. I'll be honest with you. There's so much other time or time that I could be doing something else. Average person mows lawn about 40 hours a year. That's a week of your life gone. A week of your life that you're mowing lawn that you could be doing anything but. This is the smallest model they offer, designed to mow a third of an acre. It's a 315X.
So like an average person's lot.
Your in-town lot, yeah.
Right. And how long does the battery last? I mean, what is it? It goes to its own docking station.
It charges itself. It gets down to about 20% battery life. It'll go home and charge itself, and then it can go back out per schedule. You can set a schedule on it. Like kids come home from school, you don't want it to be mowing from 3:30 to 5 or whatever. You can set that right from your phone or from a machine, saying I don't want it out there. Otherwise, it's a hard concept to understand. It was for me, anyways. All of us have been brought up to mow lawn. Once a week, you go out, the grass grows up,
it's the kids'
you cut it off. Or that, and I certainly don't want to discredit them or take their jobs away from with an Automower, but all of us were brought up, the grass grows up, you cut it down. It grows, you cut it off. Think of this as more of a maintainer. So it's going to be out there so many hours a day. It just constantly keeps the lawn maintained.
And it memorizes what spots are done.
It does. It does have GPS, so it does take a little time, couple weeks, for it to develop a map of your yard. Imagine you're looking down in your yard as grid paper. So the machine knows when it goes through it, checks the box off. I've been there. It also knows an area that grows faster than a low area because it has a resistance sensor on the blade motor. So a low area that grows faster because it's generally more wet as opposed to a high area, it knows the difference in how much time it should spend in certain areas.
Interesting.
Does have GPS, so it uses that, and also uses GPS for anti-theft. Anytime the mower would be interrupted, tipped over, lifted, carried, stuck on a stick or anything like that in the yard, it will ping whoever's paired to it to their phone. And anytime it would be interrupted, you have to enter a 4-digit PIN code into it, so it recognizes that you are the owner and you're not trying to take it. All the mowers that we've installed here, I've yet, knock on wood, yet have any been stolen. A few of them been driven over. People forgot that they were on their yard, and well, they don't go on driveways per se unless they're wired in. But no, you forget you had it in the yard, and because they don't make any noise, they mow day or night, rain or shine.
No kidding.
I mean, even inch of standing water doesn't really slow them down.
No kidding. They just go. What does it look like underneath on these?
That's what I say. Your maintenance on them. And all the machines are developed around the same cutting system. So this is just an anti-scalp disc. It actually doesn't do any of the cutting. But these blades...
That's it, just that little bitty blade.
Yep. There's 3 of them located all the way around. So once a month, you take a Phillips screwdriver, you change out the blades. It doesn't pay to sharpen them. It's not worth your time. So you just change out the blade, put it back into service. Away you go.
Interesting.
So once a month you do that.
On off switch, and what is this here?
That's a diagnostics plug-in.
Oh, okay.
We can plug into them just like a dealership will plug into your vehicle. So we can plug into them, we can test everything, we can do software updates on them so they're not like a cell phone where they're a throwaway after a couple of years. Keep bringing your machine in, we can plug into it and get it the latest and greatest software available for it because they get more efficient
every can a consumer do their software upgrade?
Unfortunately, you can't. You have to be a dealer to be able able to plug into them. They have a new model out that's wireless, meaning that this model here, you have a perimeter wire you have to put in, a low voltage wire, similar to like a dog fence. The new model is called E-Post. That one can do, the largest one can do up to 2.5 acres, I believe, of mowing. But you need a transceiver or whatever that's mounted somewhere up in the air so it can see the machine and direct it where to go. But that one can mow actually in straight lines and everything. This one can, think of it as like a ball on a pool table, just kind of goes and bounces off things. But you can wire it around areas, flower beds, pools, etc., areas you don't want to go in, as opposed to the rest of the lawn where you want to mow. But then it makes contact, it'll just bump into or anything.
That's how it works. It just has this.
There's joysticks on these corners here. Machine rule of thumb on our end for installing trees, saplings, whatnot, anything smaller than 3-inch, we want to wire around so the machine doesn't make contact with it. Anything 3 inches or bigger, you can just let the machine bump into a tree or landscaping.
How does it react to edging, like bricks and edging and stuff?
Two disadvantages to an Automower. Since it is unmanned, you can't be watching all the time to be kid and pet safe and whatnot. It won't come within 6 inches of anything. As you saw in that disc in the middle, there's a distance here that a perimeter goes around. That's to stop anybody from getting their hands underneath it.
Well, that little bitty blade, or it's not going to hurt unless you physically reach under.
Well, the blade is held up by centrifugal force as well. So if it were to make contact on, I don't know, vegetation or sticks, toys, what in the yard, it just hits the obstruction, folds back on itself till it passes, and it flips right back out and keeps mowing. It also, every time it charges and goes back out, it changes directions of the spinner motor for the blades, so it uses both sides of the blade, so it's more efficient. But other than that, it does have lift sensors on it, so if it were to be interrupted, then they'll ping or notify anybody that's paired to it with their phone. You can't actually steer it and drive it around, but you can send it back home to the charging pad. You can send it out. You can set your schedule. You can even set your cutting height from your phone. So it's not for every yard, but like I said, I have 2 at my house just as I really despise
any golf courses interested in these yet? Or?
They're getting more popular now that they have a wireless system out, that the wireless system's getting better. And technology gets better every day almost. Golf courses, I am in contact with a few golf courses right now that want to set up some demos or at least to have us install them. Hospitals is an untapped area.
I would think businesses that don't want to have to pay for maintenance all the time, they could just let it go.
Exactly. But then just no debris discharge because there's no vacuum. That's the other drawback to the machine. There's no vacuum in the deck, so it won't mulch or do anything with leaves. You'll still have to do traditional cleanups on that end. So it won't trim and it won't mulch. But you never have to sit on it. You never have to run to town and get gas. You never have to change the oil.
Well, I like to say this is something that I believe in, and you're going to agree with this because of this. I can buy equipment, and I can make more money, but I can't make more time. And if this is going to save me a week a year?
I mean, that's an average homeowner.
A week is... You add that up in 20 years, that's half a year almost. I mean,
you're exactly right. I do catch some customers that I love mowing lawn. That's what they do. They like to do. They said they put their earbuds in. They just shut off.
They put their bush light in their koozie.
And or that. But they can shut the world out for however long it takes. And I can appreciate that time. So anyways, I'll talk to them more about the machine, and I'll come back to it. I was like, what's your 3 favorite things to do? It is never mowing lawn. It is never mowing lawn. So I was like, you can still tell people you're mowing lawn. Because if they say, well, I couldn't talk to you or whatever because I was out mowing lawn, you could be sitting on the deck enjoying your bush light. And then you're still mowing lawn. Technically, you're not lying. You just don't have to do it. Exactly.
Yeah. I pay a kid to mow my lawn at my business because I've got better things to do.
Absolutely.
I want to employ them because it gives them something to do. It's good for everybody.
That's one of the, I guess, my biggest competitors is when a customer comes and says, my kid mows my lawn. I am for that, yes. I truly believe they need chores. I haven't mowed my lawn at my house now in,
4 years maybe, because my wife got on an exercise kick and she says, I want to mow lawn because it's good exercise.
Sure.
Go for it.
You didn't argue, I bet.
Nope,
Right,
go
right.
for it.
But no, I was saying, when I wrapped my head around it, I was like, I could be doing anything else but that.
I'd rather be fishing or hunting or cutting
Anything.
firewood, something.
Well, exactly right.
Let's go talk about all your outside stuff that you
Yeah,
guys
absolutely.
do here.
So after I had bought Modern Rentals here, I saw there was some holes in the services that could be provided around the area anyways. We generally don't travel much more than 30-mile radius from Ripon here.
Right.
But nobody could sell bulk mulch, and I didn't really understand why. So I did some research and found some companies that actually make it from their wood mills and processors and whatnot like that. And then they do their own dyeing. This gentleman right now is loading up cedar mulch, which is 100% cedar. It comes from Upper Michigan. Some of the bag stuff you can buy at your box stores, that's a percentage of cedar.
And so you guys obviously do delivery. You've got your own truck and everything.
Absolutely.
So is the guy loading the same guy that's going to deliver?
Yep. After we put the bins up in the mulch, we had a couple smaller little 5-yard dump truck single axle. We recognized there was a giant hole there that we needed to be able to get more material to certain customers without making several trips.
Right.
Saves my expense as well as the customer's expense.
Right.
So we built this box
by semi truck or dump truck, or
we
how does it
can
come?
either quad axle all the way, or that's like 25 yards. This one will hold 15 yards. Then we have a couple smaller trucks that can hold up to 6 yards.
So then, do you go get it, dump it yourself, or do they bring it to you?
I have the manufacturer of the mulch bring
it
it right to us. They just filled a couple of our bins. That's why they're kind of overflowing a little bit.
Well, it's spring of the year. You're going to sell it.
And it goes fast.
Probably in a week this will be gone, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
a couple hundred yards a week, easy.
No kidding.
And then we developed this bed on this truck or this box. So it has a power top for wind and whatnot going down the road. I mean, DOT regulated, obviously. But then we got a power hoist and a power tailgate. So the driver doesn't even get out of the truck.
Nice. So he's pretty much steady busy.
Oh yeah, he's running. And then we sell by volume. We can't really go by weight. Obviously, we don't have it, because we don't have a scale here. But if it get rained on, well, that would change the weight of it.
Right.
So we go by volume. We got a 1 yard bucket. We got a half-yard bucket. We got a 2 yard
bucket. Is this
bucket.
a half yard?
That's a 1 yard
That's
bucket.
That's a 1 yard. Okay, good.
Actually, had Burlon make that bucket specific for me.
Oh,
it's
really?
narrower. It's only 5 feet wide, but it's really deep because it also fits exactly 1 yard. So when you come in with your half-ton truck or your short bed,
you know exactly
I can dump in there without spilling a bunch.
Right.
And then on the other...
Is this made just in Berlin, right down the road?
Brilliant.
I know. I see the
Not
name.
Berlin.
Okay, I thought maybe it was that they used their name or something.
No, it is a manufacturing company of buckets and forks and whatnot.
Got it.
I believe they're located more in southern Wisconsin.
Oh, okay. 1 cubic yard, and then your 2 is over there. How do you like your articulating John Deere loader? Isn't that nice?
Probably one of the best investments I ever made.
I've been looking at articulating loaders. I've looked at a couple different brands, and they are nice because you're not getting the wear on the tires. You can turn a tighter radius. And
user friendly. Almost all my staff can jump in this loader and load up one of our own trucks or a customer's truck. Tractors are bulky. Skid loaders tear up the pavement and tires. The articulating loader, I think this is John Deere's one of the smallest ones they make, but it works perfect.
A lot of companies have them. Bobcat's got them. What's the green one I just did a video of not too long ago?
Oh, I forget the company.
It starts with an A.
Yeah.
Terrible. I should be able to. I just did a video on it.
I can't remember.
I did it up at Bobcat. Bobcat Plus had. They got 3 locations.
Of Avant.
That's it, yeah. And then there's a Giant
John Deere, Case, Bobcat, Avant. New Holland. They all make them.
Well, articulating loaders used to be just in big equipment, but now they're making smaller ones.
Oh, absolutely. They have a hole. They can get in them smaller areas. I mean, we have a couple of 544 big, 35-ton machines, but that's more for our snow removal. But then we also sell and make shredded dirt, topsoil here as well.
Okay.
We'll take raw material, raw dirt, and we'll run it through our shredder, clean out all the sticks, stones, and it's almost comes out like potting soil. It's all
Nice.
dry, and I'm currently out. I'm waiting for my pile to dry out a little bit so I can
then
shred more.
Do you sell sand and aggregates too?
Sand, some decorative stone.
Is that in back?
Actually, they're on the other side of these bins here.
Well, let's just go look at that. Yeah. So these bins, you bought all your blocks here? You had that all set up?
Yep. We purchased them from our local concrete place. They make the bins there, and I purchased them from them and then set up our own bins.
Nice. Nice. This would be awesome to have for firewood for me for scooping and.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
You
guys
got a
that
back wall that you can.
Yeah, back wall.
keep
Right now we
organized.
put everything up against the barn wall, which is a nice big heavy cement, and it works
Sure.
really good. But
So
these bins are nice.
Everything's labeled on the end, and then the dollar, the number there is a value per yard.
Got it.
So we got 3/4 row gravel, clear stone, pea gravel,
Screenings, mason
sand. I actually changed out my red granite that was moving pretty slow, and now we have black granite.
Oh, that sells better.
And a couple different sizes of that.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I gotta go get a load of that.
So this is
will
basically
run a little low
mostly
on,
for
too.
landscaping kind
More
of stuff?
of a decorative stone, yeah.
Right.
And then our dirt's located in the back.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to look at dirt. Dirt is dirt.
Essentially, yes.
And is this all your equipment for rental here?
A
stuff you
couple
guys
of
use
them are
every year?
ours, the other ones for retail.
Got it.
The salters are new, a couple of them Hinneker blades. So we sell Snow X, Hinneker, and Ebling back blades for snow removal
Nice.
equipment. So some of it's ours, we're just in a transition period, took it off of our trucks, and then we're...
And what do you got back in your huts back there, your Quincy's or...
Storage. That is new mowers come in crates, boxes. We keep them out of elements.
Got it.
So no, our zero turns are tractors, push mowers, snow blowers.
Snow, and then I think it was the other video we were talking about. When you bought this, it was pretty much a rental place.
Yep.
But now, 70% of what you do is retail. You're
Correct.
selling products. You're selling
Yep.
your Toros, your Husqvarnas, your DRs.
Exactly.
So.
And I can't take credit for all that. My predecessor, who I bought the business from, he brought in a lot of the retail. We just kind of expanded on it since I've been here.
When you got here, about 5-6 acres, something like that?
12 combined.
12 acres.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Because we
got a
also sell
bunch.
bulk salt. Not so much like counties or highway departments like that, but most of my competition are my customers as well. They buy plows and salters from us, but then they're out in town and they're doing lots and jobs and stuff like that as well.
So now you also, like you said, you do snow removal.
Yep.
And you do tree removal.
We do a little bit of tree removal.
Do you do like brain surgery? Because that's about the only thing I can think of you haven't talked about.
Well, when Mother Nature's your boss, you have to stay as diversified as you can.
Right.
You just got to have something to do for the staff all season long.
Right.
Or all year long, I should say, depending on the season. So we do full lawn applications, spraying, fertilizing. A couple hundred customers that we do that for locally. We do landscaping, mowing, trimming. A couple guys that's what they do all summer.
Man, you do everything.
But you have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And just so people know, what's the population of Ripon?
8,000 maybe?
8,000.
Pretty
but you
small
go out about
compared-
30 miles. So you
30
go in-
mile radius.
Probably
about.
going to Oshkosh a bunch.
Yep, exactly.
And that's the bigger market for you
Yeah,
guys.
yep, I would agree. But just in the area, like I said.
Have you ever thought about franchising out to the other areas, or you got all you can handle now?
I think I could handle more. I'm certainly not opposed to branching out. Staff.
Yeah.
Having employees. It's
a challenge for all businesses. Is
It's
staffing.
unfortunate. Generations now, and I don't see it getting better. It's hard to find people that want to work. So I would like to diversify even more, but to find that whole nother staff that is as wonderful as the staff I have now, it'd be pretty tough to duplicate.
Right. And until you get systems in place that are repeatable in a binder, that like, this is how you do this, this is how you do this. That was a challenge in my business. So we had two. We created working systems so that when a new person came in, here's how you do it.
Absolutely.
That was hard to develop.
It is, and we work on that every day.
Yeah, it's constant.
Because we're more efficient than that is way. But,
absolutely.
But when we prep machines, anywhere from your string trimmer all the way to your zero turn, they have a checklist that they go through that they did everything so it's ready for the customer. But no, I'd love to diversify it. Just like I said, trying to staff it will be the first challenge, and I've yet to figure that part out.
Right.